Joaquin Phoenix play him in the Hollywood biopic Walk the Line. An Arkansas farm boy who comes out of poverty to enjoy fantastic success alongside fellow Sun Records star Elvis Presley, only to engage in years of drug-fueled self-sabotage that destroys his marriage and nearly kills him, before, by the grace of God and June Carter, he gets his shit together, records a live album at Folsom Prison, and becomes a superstar. It's the classic rise, fall, rise narrative, with all of the ingredients of a big-budget feature film version of a VH1 Behind the Music episode. But there's also the walking contradiction Johnny Cash, partly truth and partly fiction, to quote his friend Chris Christopherson, who wrote those lines in a song about himself, only to have Cash and others assume they were about Cash. This myth is especially hard to untangle when Cash's politics come up, given that he did seem to contradict himself by both opposing the Vietnam War and expressing support for President Richard Nixon's handling of the war, or that he supported civil rights, but also spoke of the courage of Confederate soldiers, or, given that he was a God-fearing Christian family man who felt more comfortable in a prison playing to his fellow miscreants, and so on and so on. And then there's the blank screen Johnny Cash, the one on whom we project our own identities, political and otherwise. Like my auction debate partner, we fans have a habit of finding something in Cash's lyrics, an image, that resonates with us and assuming that he is just like us in every other way. Or we see him as his own son claims to, non-political, and a patriot with no public political party affiliation. But that's just another of the Johnny Cashes, the one who brings everyone together, who would not risk alienating any segment of his audience by embracing a political identity. He could not be a contradiction because he was non-political. No systematic analysis of Cash's actions can conclude that he was non-political. Johnny Cash not only devoted much of his career to the pressing political questions of his lifetime, but he was also remarkably consistent in the way he did so. If it has been difficult to read him all these years, it has been because we have been looking at him through the wrong lens. In 1971, when Cash stood at the peak of his popularity and influence, the political scientist Robert Levine reported on American citizens behaving in ways experts labeled contradictory. Voters and citizens are individuals, Levine cautioned, holding views that they believe to be consistent and changing their views along lines they believe to be consistent, even though political theorists may not agree. It made little sense, therefore, to insist on using binary labels to categorize Americans into this or that political group, liberal or conservative, hawk or dove, patriot or protester. But you wouldn't know it from the way we talk about American politics. Like most Americans, then and now, Johnny Cash did not experience politics ideologically, or participate in political discourse in ways that would satisfy an ideologue. But that doesn't mean that his stances were not based upon deep reflection or intellectual sophistication. Quite the contrary. Johnny Cash practiced what I call a politics of empathy. He came to his political positions based on his personal experience, often guided by his own emotional and visceral responses to the issues. In the same way that social movement theorists have written for years now about the role of emotion and storytelling in mobilizing for one cause or another, Americans often engage political questions on the basis of feeling, not doctrine. It makes no sense to apply a one-size-fits-all standard to explaining a person's politics when we know that we are not all one size, that our personas, political and otherwise, are forged in the crucibles of our own experiences. Naturally, that makes it hard on those who set or accept the parameters of normative political categories. Johnny Cash seemed unintelligible, or illegible, only insofar as his observers tried to apply conventional political labels to him. As soon as we throw those terms away, though, Cash comes into view as one of the most deeply engaged political artists of his age. To be sure, to approach political questions only from the perspective of one's own experience would be pretty limiting. Our knowledge and understanding may derive partly from our own experience, but most of us need to draw on other sources to supplement it. Johnny Cash may have seen black convicts chained together, building the roads or levees in Mississippi County, Arkansas, but he was a white Southerner who had never worked on a chain.
To keep listening to this audiobook for free, click the link in the description. It will take you to a free Audible trial where you can listen to this and many other books for free for 30 days.